Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satsang. Let's make some silence first. Ignoring the script of life, the tomorrows, the yesterdays, just keeping a steady focus on the practice. Steady focus. If self-realization has not dawned yet, there's no time for breaks, pauses. Just steady focus. Intensifying silence, intensifying stillness, abstracting more and more from life's stories. So once again, good morning, everyone. Just reminding, we use WhatsApp as a means of communication. You can send your questions directly to me. So today we are going to dive a little bit more deeper or into other nuances about what we talked previously. As you finished this first cycle of being able to experience some life of the process, some blessing present there, and the traps that come after that. This is very, very, very important because to finish one cycle, there's a lot of effort involved, a lot of pain, suffering. It seems like an unending journey. So this is the first cycle that comes from heaven, goes to hell, and comes back to heaven again, to the blessing moment. And the first one is very long, depending on the seeker, on its level of intensity. But usually for an average seeker, it is a long cycle. And to be able to finish it, a lot of guidance has to be there, a lot of effort, a lot of tests, and overcoming that. It's like a lifelong situation. It isn't. It can be. But if guidance is there, if the intensity is there, it seems like an epic. And of course, after this great journey, this big adventure, it is inevitable that a tendency to relax, to reduce your level of focus comes there, because where there was the desert, now you found an oasis, pure water, fresh water. Everything is nice, blessings are coming, I'm drinking the nectar. And like I explained the previous video, it was difficult, and it's like your head was smashed on the ground for a lot of time. So humility came from that a little bit. But that doesn't mean that the other layers of the character were dissolved, disappeared. They didn't just have the space to flourish, even to appear, because on that level of intensity, just by appearing, it would get hit again, thrown back again. But at this level, blessing is coming. It is taken by all, and all these parts that were against the floor, that didn't have room, take a little bit and regain hope, space, possibilities. So it's very natural that when this blessing is there, your efforts get relaxed. Why? Because certain automatic mechanisms are still there operating, and those are to achieve circumstantial peace. Circumstances, outer, inner, doesn't matter. that are peaceful, that are blissful. These are mechanisms from the body-mind complex. It seeks this all the time. That makes it more difficult. So when blessing is there, there's a sense of, aha, found it. Now I will preserve it, enjoy it. And this is where you start to lose it without even realizing it. Because either you are planting constantly or you are spending what you have planted. Either you are maintaining your focus and going more deeper, or you're relaxing that focus and moving backwards again. This cycle, for those who have experienced it, from heaven to hell, coming back again to another place of heaven, higher place of heaven, is just one, the first one. The second, the third, depending on the seeker, they are more difficult. They take a long time. But the first, even longer by far. But as you understand the mechanics of it, and you start intensifying your focus and learning how to sail in those waters, these cycles will move faster and faster and faster and faster. You have to remind yourself constantly, I'm not doing this for these better circumstances. I'm doing this for freedom. So if freedom is not here yet, it's not over. There's no point in stopping. No point. It's a waste of time. So when you're going through hell, understand that will pass if you continue, if you maintain your focus, and you will arrive to heaven. And if you keep your focus or even increase it, that will pass too. And you will go back to hell again. But it's not the same hell, it's a deeper hell. And it will not be the same heaven, it will be a higher heaven in terms of blessing, in terms of growth. But more important than that, it's going. Because that highest heaven is a product of some sort of liberation from yourself, this character. Some leaves have fallen, but many more are there. When you go to hell, to a deeper hell, or it doesn't matter the intensity, it matters is that you're moving forward. Because it will have different intensities depending on what's being dealt with. It doesn't matter. So when you go back to hell again, it will be a deeper one because it is tending to deep-seated sanskars, to deep-rooted behaviors, expressions, all of it. It is cleansing, purifying, going deeper and deeper and deeper. So if self-realization is not there, it means there's a lot of things to be cleansed. And you just need to maintain your focus and intensity and intensifying it. You don't need to understand all these things. You just need to maintain the motor running. This is your part. Nothing else. But when you reach heaven, it's difficult because it's like there's a numbness, or like you're intoxicated. So you become a little bit numb. So if you have guidance, if the master is there, he will point at you in several ways. And probably you will not understand it because you're numb. You're in that state of, But then will be something more intense for you to wake up and resume If you don't have this, you have to keep in mind this sentence. If self-realization is not there, it's not over. There's no time to relax. If the circumstances are better now, I will use it to intensify my meditation, because when hell is there, it's more difficult to maintain it more constant. It's a lot of noise, it's a lot of things. So with the brighter sky, then I use it to keep it more steady and to remain more in that silence, in that blessing which is coming, not to drink of it, but to remain in that which that blessing is providing, a more living space of quietness, of spiritual energy presence, knowing fully that if I stabilize enough, if I maintain the focus enough, the descent towards hell comes again. And for the seeker of truth, that is very welcome, because sometimes it takes longer periods, depending. The more close to the end, the longer they will be. And the more far away from the beginning, the longer they will be also. It's easy to confuse them, but for those who have no experience. But the quicker you come back, it means you have started another cycle. Sometimes it takes longer, and it's in the doubt comes in the mind. Am I missing something? Have I relaxed my efforts? Is this, has this been twisted to something else? And it's good to have these doubts and evaluate your efforts, and just for the benefit of doubt, intensify them. But if it continues peaceful, okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. But eventually, I have to reach another cycle, because stillness allows for deeper chaos to emerge. As the deeper chaos emerges to release, that stillness needs to be maintained. And as that chaos gets released, a deeper peace will be possible, more prolonged, bigger one. And as this bigger peace is there and is used in your meditation, your work, this will allow for more deeper chaos to emerge, so on, until there's nothing left. So it is expected. It's like you're in a race. The race is 12 laps. And you finish the first lap and you're celebrating. Ha, 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 ha. What about the other 11 laps? In this case, you don't know how many laps are there. So just keep running. Because if you reduce your focus, it's not about just the formal practice. Because meditation practice or other spiritual practices that combine with meditation may be there in the form, but that doesn't mean that you are focused there. And it's completely different. It's completely different from when you're focused. May it be the same length of time, same technique, same all. And it's very easy to spend what you have earned. And then you will find yourself in hell again, but not from the next cycle, but from the previous one, because it's going backwards again. And as you have finished your spiritual profits, so to speak, you go back to the same nothing and you start again. So the first one, the first cycle, has taken so long because you didn't know anything. And that maybe sums it all, because everything else that I was going to say comes back to this. But supposedly you have seen it from the beginning of the cycle towards the end of the cycle. You have seen the ways that it doesn't work and the ways that it works. You have seen how you come back to this, how you make it work, the obstacles that you have and they are not solved yet. But you know a little bit more. And with this vision, with this knowledge, they will become eventually faster and faster and faster. And like I said, as it reaches the end, you need more and more amounts of silence and stillness to reach the deeper layers of chaos. And you have to keep in mind all the time, write this in a paper, put in a place where you can see. This is about liberation, not about spiritual blessings, not about peace and love and all of that. Liberation only, because if you don't have this repeated, you will distract, you will relax, you will enjoy the sweet nectar till it becomes vinegar again, and time wasted. But at the level of the body-mind complex, that's what it wants. Circumstantial peace, circumstantial blessings. Oh, I'm feeling very good. That's it. And I relax. I'm feeling very bad. Oh, I intensify. I will do something to get out from this. But I'm feeling good. Oh, I can stop now my efforts. So you need to go beyond these mechanisms, these automatic mechanisms, these programs that keep you entertained. If hell is there, difficulties are there, this shall pass. If heaven is there, blessings are there, this shall pass too. Again and again, until liberation, that is the ultimate, unchanging, that is the real. Everything else just coming and going. And these circles, are they moving forward or backwards? It's like an ascending spiral or a descending one. Still moving, round and round, round and round, but where is it going? So after these experiences of blessing, they happen many times, and most of the times it's not about ending a cycle. It's not about that. It is blessings that come to show you that there's something else beyond what you envision as reality. But even after these experiences, the tendency is, I've seen this many times, oh, I need to share this with others. Without realizing, full of good intentions, but without realizing that this is a way to protect yourself from that vibration. So going through the world and sharing this, it is a way of spending it and going back to where you were previously. So as you move from circle to circle, the level of focus, awareness, intensity, stillness, silence is increasing. Your vision of details is changing because firstly, you could see just some gross aspects of the mechanics of your delusion. But as you finish these circles, you can see more and more. And you will use this to deepen even more. And this will allow you to see even more. But if you relax, you lose this train. You start just to wander, floating around until you spend whatever your gains were. And remember, body-mind complex is not the friend of the purpose of liberation. It is not there for that. It's not working in that direction. Their programs, the body's program, mind's program, it is to maintain and strive illusion. So whatever is surfacing here, it's not reliable. It becomes an instrument when it's purged of self-interest, of worldly goals, when it is trained to move beyond these preferences, likes and dislikes, then it's useful to maintain silence, to decide in the absence of guidance, because when guidance is there, is to comply, but to decide from the highest set of values. But in new circumstances, the mind reshapes your perception of reality and swings you back slowly, slowly to where you were. And you enter a dream world where you're intoxicated and you get numb and you don't see, sliding slowly, slowly, slowly. It's like you've reached paradise. And here, certain laws have to be there. Certain expectations come. And in the absence of that tremendous force that was crushing those expressions, characteristics of the character which weren't unsuitable, they feel relieved. They feel free. And they start again slowly to build up and to work for their own needs, eating up everything. So at this point, there's no external force unless there's guidance there and it's need to be done. But if there's no external force pushing this down. But you have seen how you got there. So if you want to push forward, you need to keep it down. Because by keeping it down, not allowing to feed on this, you will keep that vibration longer and longer high. And by keeping this vibration longer and longer high, just its presence is dissolving, burning all these sanskar, these impressions, these characteristics which are not aligned, that survived in a more dense vibration. So you have to keep it as high as you can, So and this you do by not letting these aspects to interfere again. The work continues, despite if it is difficult, the bottom of the cycle or the near bottom, or if it is the upper part of the cycle, the sweet part, the blissful part, you continue the same intensity despite whatever circumstances are there. And eventually, if you reach this level of focus and intensity, you will see these cycles going through you and circumstances changing very fast for what you call sweet to what you call bitter, and changes again. And the more faster it becomes, the less logical in the sense of the logic that you knew, the less logical it becomes. And you see that circumstances, inner, outer, they are just coming to allow this, to maintain this. Always reminding yourself, if liberation is not here, self-realization is not here, there's absolutely no reason to stop. Circumstances change all the time. And just because I found or it came to me something that I was looking for, or at least a part of me was, there's no liberation in sight. Let me continue with my intensity and focus and use these better circumstances to intensify more, because full of discomforts, pain, and all of that, how stable can your silence become? It doesn't become very stable because it is a part of the process, which is very full of convulsions. But when this blessing is here, that stability is there. So you can use it to increase the level of silence present. This is what it is. Circumstances change all the time. If it didn't, it would become too obvious. So they have to change all the time to keep you impressed. Either you're grounding more into delusion or getting more free, whatever that means. Okay, increasing your level of perception and awareness, because freedom has no stages. Same cycles are observed, but the directions of these cycles are different, opposite. And lots of traps are there. And those that were in the first cycle can appear in the second. New ones will come, new nuances. It is always changing, adapting. And the less you are able to distance yourself from illusion script, from the story of the body, from its needs and dreams and all of this, the clearer your vision can become. The more you are entangled with this, the more difficult it becomes, even to finish one cycle. And the first one, it's the most difficult one by far. So when blessing comes, it's a different work. You will use that steadiness, that big presence to deepen your silence. When difficulties come, when pain comes intensely, you will use that to cultivate perseverance, determination. So these shifting of circumstances which are there to keep you entertained, you can use this in your benefit to detach more and more, to gain the ability to remain steady, untouched by these different stimuli. Because if you still keep in your mind this need to establish circumstantial peace, this will mean that you will have an inner resistance. It's not really resistance, it's aversion, an inner aversion to uh, disturbing circumstances, to uncomfortable circumstances. And it means that you are fragile. So if the wind is blowing hot air, you'll be enthusiastic, you will melt with sweetness and all of that. But if it changes to bitter, you fall down because you were off balance. You weren't steady. So you can use these shifts to ground more and more into silence and steadiness. And this is where you see your progress in terms of silence and stillness. If good things are coming, sweet things, if your mind doesn't go after it like, ooh, and if bitter is coming, that you're not pushing it or creating aversion to it, you're remaining steady. So everything is usable, has to be used. If liberation is not there, it's not over yet. It doesn't matter if you're in hell or in heaven, it's not over yet, and that too shall pass. And whatever comes next shall pass also. And if it's passing, it's good because it's moving. It's going deeper and deeper. And as it goes deeper and deeper, you will find new things that you didn't even know they were there. It's like going through an old chest from your grandfathers or great grandfathers. It's a surprise. Oh, this is here. That, what is this? The deeper it goes, and you will see this, and silence will increase. That spiritual presence, that high vibration will be there, and you will tune with it, become one with it. And that will purge the more deeper and deeper chaos that's still there until just silence remains. Okay. So for today, that's all. Next satsang will be Wednesday, 9:30 in the morning, Brazilian time, UTC -3. Until then, make the best use of your time. Make it real.